Here are the upcoming stories in Friday and Sunday's editions of the Southern Standard, your source for local news. An Amish buggy was caught in the midst of a flooding road and a teen and horse had to be rescued. More details of the harrowing experience in tomorrow's paper. And a rescuer fell out of his kayak and was almost dragged down the river. Find out the full story in Friday's paper. And how is your weight loss challenge going? Here's how some members of the Southern Standard staff are doing. Hi, this is Atlanta Northcutt. I'm here at the Southern Standard newsroom where we are doing our weight loss challenge. And I'm going to talk to some of the staff about how much weight they've lost and how they have done it successfully. So Jeff, what do you eat exactly, and do you have a certain weight loss program that you do?
Actually, I've been doing low carb ever since Martin Luther King Day, and I've been trying to stay away from red meat as much as possible, which has really limited me to like chicken and fish. So I like to go and I was actually joking with my brother that I'm trying to become the Mud Buns Jared. You know how Jared did it for Subway, I do it for Mud Buns. So I've been eating a lot of grilled chicken wings. He actually has pretty good grilled fish there too. So I've been doing that. And then as far as exercise, I bought an elliptical right around Christmas.
Wow.
So I get on the elliptical a lot. So I try to do that about 6 times a week.
Okay, well congratulations, and that's awesome, Jeff.
That's just the start, hopefully.
All right, great. I am here with James Clark, our fearless editor of the Southern Standard, who has lost about 7 pounds so far, maybe more. He hasn't weighed himself today. So James, what is your diet like, and where do you go to work out?
I go to USA Gym, the best place to work out.
And so how is your diet?
I eat a lot of vegetables and fruit. I eat bananas, strawberries, pineapple, a lot of peanut butter, and I enjoy working out.
What type of workouts do you do?
Burpees, pull-ups, dips, running, biking, box jumps.
Those are hard. I do those too. And what is your favorite exercise?
I probably do bench more than anything else.
Okay.
The bench press.
Getting those arms strong?
Probably not.
I'd say yeah. I'm going to give you some credit. You can hold that pretty strong, so good job. All right, James Clark, thanks for being an awesome editor and a great weight loss
Thanks so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
We spoke with Brad Hennessy from the Public Works Department about how to prevent drain cloggings. This is Atlanta Northcutt with the Southern Standard, and I'm here with Brad Hennessy, the director of the McMinnville Public Works. Mr. Hennessy, can you explain what the Public Works Department does here in McMinnville?
Well, we're a very diverse department. We're the street department, sanitation, animal control, landscape management, and our vehicle maintenance department is based out of the Public Works Department.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of things. And how has the recent flooding, how has that affected the sanitation in the streets?
Well, our role in stormwater management is basically to keep the water moving. The city hasn't seen a lot in the way of development over the last several years, so we've been able to focus on the infrastructure that's already in place, and we've made improvements to that minimizes the effects of the flooding. There's no way to completely do away with the effects of the flooding, but our focus is mainly minimization.
Okay, and have y'all been struggling recently with the amount of rain we've been getting, how that's been affecting it?
Well, we have gotten a lot of rain. We've had several rains over the last several weeks that have saturated the ground, so it has changed the way that we have gone about the stormwater management. In the past, or usually if we get rains that are spread out, water is trying to get to the rivers either through open channels or ditches or through the underground water system, which through caves and sinkholes. the saturation that we've had through the rains over the last few weeks have pushed the water table to the top of the ground. So that's why the water stays where it is. So our job is to keep it moving and get toward the river. The importance of keeping property clean from debris, we stress during these times, because when the water starts moving, it moves the loose debris along with it, and that's what causes the clogs and the backups and makes the flooding that is there worse. There's not a lot that we can do once that happens, because you're talking about thousands of gallons of water, and it's just simply not safe to put a person down in there to relieve a clog because of the dangers of drowning. So our focus before large rains and while the rain event is happening is we know where the typical trouble spots are within the city, and so we target those areas first, and we look for debris, things that we can do to improve it before all the water gets there. Once it does get there, it is hard to do anything with, and we do have to wait on it to relieve the situation naturally.
Okay, so it's a preventable situation in some cases when it comes to the yards and the debris that are building up.
We've made a lot of improvements the last 10 to 15 years in stormwater management in the way of clearing ditches, widening ditches. A lot of people have put pipe in their ditches, and we covered them that way they can mow all the way out to the street, but it prevents the occurrence of the trash getting into the storm sewer. The other issue that we have focused on is the education about the litter and the things that would wash, things that you wouldn't typically think of as litter, but things like kids' swimming pools, watering cans, things like that. You don't think of that as trash, but when water backs up, it can pick those up, and it takes it along in the course of the water flow, which is trying to find its way to the lowest point. So it's going to carry that all the way to the river unless it gets clogged in a drain or something like that.
Okay, and what would your advice be to homeowners and different people when it comes to making sure that it is better kept and not going to cause a bigger problem when it comes to flooding?
Well, most people that are going to have problems with flooding know it because they're in a low-lying area. One problem we have in the fall in particular is the leaves. So you would want to keep the leaves bagged up, and the city will pick those up as long as they're bagged. We don't have any way to pick up loose leaves, but we would encourage everyone to have the leaves in their yard bagged and put at the curb for city pickup. That's the biggest thing that we fight during this time of the year as far as clogged drains. And it's usually a combination of the leaves and the silt that's carried along, but the items that are in your yard that could be carried away by moving water are the things you want to be on the lookout for about keeping those indoors or preventing them from being washed away.
Thank you so much, Brad, for that advice, and I hope that your team has a smooth process when it comes with dealing with this flooding that we're having.
Thank you.
Former State Representative Charlie Curtis clarified what the county needs to do to correct a problem with the recent taser purchase by County Executive Jimmy Haley. Controversy at Van Buren County Commission meeting. It was ended abruptly Tuesday night when residents began to ask questions about the wheel tax. Bad weather causes massive damage, blocked roads, and school closings. There is no end in sight to the nasty weather this weekend. Catch all the weather and news stories in the upcoming editions. And editor James Clark will be filling in for me on The Scoop all next week as I take a vacation to go skiing. Wish me luck not to break anything. Have a wonderful and safe week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. This has been Atlanta Northcutt for The Scoop. with the Southern Standard.